So in this section, we're going to talk about angle pairs. So two angles that make a special kind of a pair. The first pair we're going to talk about is vertical angles. You're going to see vertical angles come up when you have intersecting lines, or lines that crisscross. Vertical angles are going to be located directly across from each other. So in this picture, 1 and 2, they're in the red. They're considered one pair of vertical angles. 3 and 4 are in the black. They're your other pair of vertical angles. And the two sets are always going to be made. The special thing about vertical angles is they are all congruent. If you guys remember, theorem is like a fancy word for rule in math. And then we have two fancy words for rule, theorem and postulate. Theorems are the ones you can prove. Postulates are the ones that you just accept work. So the question is why does this work and how do we prove it? I'm not going to do a formal proof or anything here, but think about this. Here's my x's, right? If I call this angle a 100-degree angle, correct? This angle and this angle make a special angle pair. Those two angles have to add up to how many degrees? 180. There you go, 180, because they make a straight line or a straight angle, right? So if this side is 100, how much is this side worth? 80. Okay? Likewise, color here, wouldn't this angle and this angle have to do the same thing? Yeah. Which again, so they add up to 180. Mathematically, this one would have to be 80. Well, looky here. What do you see about these two? They're the same. Okay? And then likewise, you can do it this way. Wouldn't these two also make that straight line? So then this one would have to be 100. And that's basically why that theorem exists. Okay? You can make a straight line this way, this way, this way, and this way. 4 different ways. And that requires those angles across from each other to be the same measure. All right. Complementary angles. They're your angles that add up to 90 degrees. You've probably seen these before in middle school.
Oh, yeah.
Complementary angles can be connected like you see in this picture. What in this box tells me that they add up to 90 degrees? Right. Okay. But they don't have to be conjoined like that to be complementary. As long as the two numbers or the two angle measures add up to 90, they're complementary. Okay. Supplementary are the ones that add to 180. Again, for supplementary, they can be conjoined or they don't have to be. The numbers or the measures of those angles just must add to 180. Now, for some reason, people always mix up which one is 90 and which one is 180. My best way to explain to you, I'm going to show you two different ways. Way number 1. C comes before S in the alphabet. The number 90 comes before the number 180. And match them up like so. So complementary is 90, supplementary is 180. Other way to think about it. Okay. Complementary angle can be made into 90 degrees. The C can be turned into a 90. Okay. Supplementary, right? The S can be turned into a 180. So whatever works to remind you of which one is which. Okay. And our last angle pair for the day is a linear pair. And in the word linear pair, you see the word line. So linear pairs are going to make a line. An important thing about a linear pair is they are adjacent to one another. So a new vocab word. Adjacent. Adjacent is a math way of saying next to. So for example, Michaela is adjacent to Flo. right? They're at the same table and they're directly next to each other. That's adjacent. Now it says they add up to 180 degrees. Well, they're a linear pair, right? So they make a line, and the lines are 180 degrees, so that makes sense. Now here's a question. Is every linear pair also a pair of supplementary angles? What does supplementary do? Add to 180. Do linear pairs add to 180? Yeah, so is every linear pair supplementary?
Yes.
Yes. All right, let's reverse that. Is every supplementary pair a linear pair? No. In order to be a linear pair, what does the supplementary pair have to do? Be next to each other, right? So if the picture that I drew with your supplementary definition, they're not a linear pair. They're not joined. They're not adjacent. Okay, but this one is a linear pair because they are conjoined. They have this shared side right there. All right, example number 1. If an angle measures 78 degrees, how do you find its complement? From? 90, right, that's it. It's supposed to be this easy. And you get if an angle measures 78, what's its supplement? Right. So 180 minus 390. 180 minus 78 is 102. Moving right along. All right, now we're naming stuff. Luckily, they just have little numbers there, which makes our naming super easy. I want all pairs of vertical angles. Remember, vertical angles make the letter X. Which ones are vertical?
1, 5, 4.
So they have to be across from each other to be vertical.
5 and 3. 5 and 3.
5 and 3. So I'm going to mark it up here. Here's 5, here's 3. See how they make an X when they're across from each other? Angle 5 and angle 3. Okay. So 1 and 4 wouldn't work because on the other side of 4 isn't 1 and 2 together. So that whole angle in 4 would be vertical. I agree with that. But if I say angle 1, angle 2, and angle 4, is that a pair? No. So we're just going to leave it as 5 and 3. All right, we want supplementary pairs. Which ones have to add up to 180 even though I have no numbers there?
4 and 1.
4 and what?
4 and 3.
4 and 3. Yes, very good. Because 4 and 3 together make a straight line. See it? So angle 4 and angle 3 is a pair, and there's another pair. 4 and 5 is the other pair. Very good. Okay, I'll do it in the other color. So if you look at 4 and 5, here's 4 and 5, and then the shared side. So they also make a 180 degree angle. All right, here's complementary. Right, and how do I know they're complementary? Yep. They got the 90-degree box. Okay, and the last question was linear pairs. Which ones are my linear pairs?
3 and 4, 4 and 5.
3 and 4 and 4 and 5, right? The same as the supplementary. Angle 3 and angle 4, and 4 and angle 5. Right, because linear pairs also add up to 180. Questions? All right, now some problems. What kind of angle pair are these? Vertical. And what do we know about their measures? They're congruent, so what equation can I write? Equals, right. 4x is equal to 3x plus 35. So what's x?
Minus 3.
5.
Right. If you minus 3x from both sides, you just get x is 35. That's good. Again, supposed to be that easy.
Because I added.
All right. Perpendicular lines. Two lines that intersect at 90 degrees. The symbol for perpendicular is that upside down T. We kind of talked about that yesterday. And if you want to show that lines are perpendicular, okay, or identify that they're perpendicular, they just have to have that box there. Alright, so now the problem. Find x and y so that line BE and line AD are perpendicular. So in order for those lines to be perpendicular, what has to be in the picture? A box. Alright, so I'm going to put it there. And if there's a box here, then there's a box there, a box there, and a box there. Right? Because if this side is 90, that side has to be 90, so I hit that 180 degrees. What equation can I write for x?
6x plus 3x plus y minus 1.
I agree. That is actually a true statement. These two to get added together equals this, because what kind are they? They're across from each other, so they're vertical, right? I agree with you. But then we have an equation with x's and y's. That's not going to help me. What would 6x plus 3x have to equal numerically? 90y. Right, because we put the right angle box there. Okay. So, 6x plus 3x must equal 90. So they're on the same side, add them together. 9x is equal to 90, and x is 10. Cool. We gotta do the y's. What does 12y minus 10 have to equal? 90. There's a 90-degree box there as well. So 12y minus 10 equals 90. So 12y is equal to 100. And y is, I believe, yes, it's 8.3. Decimals are okay. They're not scary. Your answer can be a decimal. Alright, next one. The dreaded word problem. An angle measures 20 more than its supplement. Find the angle in its supplement. Okay, I am going to try to break this down to make this problem as easy as I can for you.
It's 180.
What
That's the
is?
easiest thing on the planet.
No, I want to know the angle in its supplement with the given stipulation.
Wouldn't it be 80 and 100?
Would it be 80 and 100? Yeah, that is the correct answer. Yeah, this one is actually pretty easy. We're going to do ones later that are a little bit harder, but I like to start you off with something that's very simple. So yes, he said the answer is 80 and 100, and that is the correct answer. Okay, for those of you who can jump that out and see it right now, I'm going to try and break this down to the easiest way possible I can break these problems down. We're looking for an angle and its supplement, right? And supplementary angles have to add up to what? So let's use the definition. Angle 1 plus angle 2 has to equal 180. Cool. All right. If you don't know what angle 1 is, what do you call it? X. Okay. The other one is 11 more. So the second angle is going to be this one and 11 more.
20.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, you're right. One. Yes, I'm thinking of that problem. This one is 20 more. What would I put here?
X plus 20.
X plus 20. Okay. Here's the place where people make mistakes all the time. For supplementary angles, how many angles are you looking at? 2. They're a pair, right? So when you're doing this, make sure you have 2 different X's to represent angle 1 and angle 2. You need to have 2 X's. All right, so X and X is 2X plus 20 is equal to 180. Subtract your 20, so 2X is equal to 160. And just like Adam said, X is 80. And how do you find the other one?
At 20.
120. The other one is 20 more, right? So your 2 angles are 80 degrees and 100 degrees. Questions? Yes, Lily? Thank you for waiting till I was done my notes.